I almost didn't have a cake at all for my toddler's first birthday because I did not want him having the sugar, the dyes, the preservatives in the bakery cakes, the box mixes, because until he was 1, he really didn't have anything outside of a fruit or vegetable and breast milk. So for his first birthday, I certainly did not want him having a real cake and then he gets sick, or not even just him getting sick. If he doesn't want sugary cake, I don't want to give it to him. I am going to put that off for as long as I can. So then I thought, well, there's got to be a healthy birthday cake that I can make for him. But then I'm like, well, then I'm going to have to do some test runs, and it's probably not actually going to taste very good. And is it really worth all of the effort if he's only going to take one bite? Just all of these thoughts. Then some friends of mine made some really good points. First of all, the only person who has to like the cake is my baby, because no one else is going to touch that smash cake. No one else is going to like it. Because another dilemma of mine was, okay, sure, if I find a cake that tastes good, what am I going to do about frosting? Well, then a friend of mine said, well, he loves sweet potatoes. You could just use sweet potatoes as a sort of icing. I was like, oh my gosh, you're absolutely right. I could do that. My friends also pointed out that this is about a photo op. We are going to want that picture for the first birthday as moms. We want the picture. So if your baby is about to turn 1 and you don't want him or her having normal cake and you want something that's actually going to taste good, then this video is for you, and I'm going to tell you what recipe I used. I did attempt to make a frosting. It did not work. It was not good. I think it was cocoa powder or cacao powder and coconut oil and maple syrup, and it wasn't good. Don't recommend. I should have just done the sweet potatoes, but I ran out of time. Full disclosure, did not come up with this recipe myself. I found this healthy birthday cake recipe from eatingbirdfood.com and then just kind of switched out the flours and maybe a couple other things to my liking. It's really less of a cake and more of a dessert bread. If you're less of a tell me person and more of a show me person, and you want to see the words I'm saying on a blog post, you can go to the link in my bio and go to this week's blog post and then scroll down to the recipe. But in the cake are 3 large room temperature eggs, 3/4 of a cup of maple syrup, 1/2 cup of milk of your choice. I ended up doing a homemade almond milk because I am that mom. I did not want him having almond milk from the store, and he couldn't have dairy at the time. Long story, I did homemade almond milk. That's going to be next week. 1/3 cup of melted coconut oil, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of almond extract, 1.5 cups of almond flour, 1 cup of cassava flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. You combine the wet ingredients, you combine the dry ingredients, and then you add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. I set my oven to 350 and used 3 of the 2-cup glass Pyrex containers and filled those evenly so that I could make a layered type smash cake. They baked for like 20 or 25 minutes, and I really just look and see when it's kind of golden brown. And then I used a Mickey cookie cutter because it was a Mickey party. And here is the end result.